人生或职涯中的许多关卡，从来不是能力不足，而是天赋没有被运用在对的地方。我是 Sara 蔡佩静，欢迎收听人生战略方程式 CEO 优势领导学，陪你看懂天赋，读懂人心，一起把优势布局成决策力、影响力，让你的价值被世界看见。Welcome back to Life Strategy Equation, CEO Strengths Leadership. Today, I'm very happy to have Phil Berg again to be my guest. He is the leadership coach, mentor, speaker, and the co-author of Networking is a Marathon, Not a Sprint. And I'm Sara Tsai, the author of Life Strategy Equation and a coach, strategist, speaker, and a podcast host. Yeah, thank you again for Phil to be my guest again. And in our first conversation, we explore how meaningful relationship shape leadership. And for our second episode, I'd love to take the conversation to one step deeper. As both of us are coaches, we both spend our lives helping people to grow. And before leadership, before networking, and before influencing others, I believe there is something even more fundamental. Although our books come from different perspectives, but they both point toward the same ideal. The quality of our leadership is deeply connected to the quality of our inner life, I believe. So rather than discussing the networking skills, I love to explore how identity, purpose, strength, and personal growth influence the way we lead and connect with others. So I'd love to begin with the simple but important question with Phil. And the first one is, do you think someone can become a truly great leader without first understanding themselves?
What a good question. Perhaps not. Perhaps not. I think I think and believe it starts from within. I think there are many people that don't desire to become a leader. I think there are many people that don't need to be a leader. If I'm just thinking, your questions are fantastic. If everybody's a leader, who are we leading? So I think for me, it's recognizing where you are. So, for example, as I was a professional athlete when I was younger, and I was trying to become a professional soccer player.
Yes.
Okay, professional footballer. When I was very young, I was selected to play in a team where I was 2 years younger than the rest of the team.
Wow.
So I was 14 and most of the players were 16. Now, in my own group,
yes,
I was definitely a leader by example. I didn't see myself as a leader. I was a young boy, but I would make that first tackle. I would show the team that we can do this. We would play against bigger players, and I would give my team the confidence that we can do this. But I didn't do that because I thought I was a leader. I just recognized that in that environment, I took it upon myself to take that responsibility. But even with the same skill, when I was playing with the boys that were 16, from 14 to 16,
yes,
there felt a very big difference. So in that particular context or situation, it was difficult to be myself because I didn't feel that I had earned the right to do that. I'm the young kid. I didn't have the respect to be able to do that. So I do think that it has to start with who you are as an individual. Me personally, I always want to be the best I can be. It,
Mm,
it doesn't mean it doesn't mean that I have no desire to be better than anybody else. That's
mm,
not who I am. But I have to be the best I can be. The people around me have to be the best they can be. Whoever I work with, be the best version of yourself. And even my activities, I struggle to do things if I'm not very good at doing it. I don't enjoy it. So I used to be a very good golfer and I'm playing golf now, but it's really bad. It's really bad. And I'm not enjoying it because it's really bad. And I'm not a good golfer now. And other people are telling me you're being too hard on yourself, but they're not understanding the context. It's not that I have to be better than them or fantastic. I have to be good enough for me. Now, sometimes that can be a strength because I will achieve things that other people don't because my desire is to do it. Other times it might be a weakness because I'm trying to do something kind of perfectly and I'll never be perfect. So I do think it begins with who you are and why you are who you are. I've struggled for recognition most of my life,
how come?
personally.
How come?
Well, I don't think my parents particularly
Recognize you?
pushed me. Yeah, pushed me, promoted me, and I've kind of always fought for recognition, not for arrogance, just for breathing, just to make me feel I'm okay to
Wow,
myself,
that's
to
a serious
myself.
word. Mm,
But it's true,
yeah,
I've
I know.
fought this most of my life.
Mm,
So I'm comfortable striving to be good.
yeah.
So because of that, which goes back to my childhood, because of that, that's who I am.
Mm,
So I do think that you have to understand you and your why,
mm-hmm.
because I think if you don't, sometimes you can try and be something you're not. You can try and be something that you will never be, and maybe you're trying to become something you don't need to be.
Yes.
So I think that's such a good question, because I think if you know who you are and if you start being you and understanding you, then you can either go for something or you can not go for something because you actually understand you. And I think that's, to finish, I think that's know your why. Why am I like this? And I'm okay with that. You know, why do I want to be a good golfer again? Because I don't like being a bad golfer. I just don't enjoy it. I literally don't enjoy it. So, if I don't enjoy it, why am I doing it? So I think it's understanding that. It's a great question. I think, yes, you have to start with you.
Yes, and I think Bill's answer reminds me that once you said that you pursue the best version of you, and you want once you want to do something, you want to do the best. No, it's not to compare with others, but compare with
No?
yourself, because you want to
Yes.
do your best. And you know what? In Gallup's strengths, it's one of the strengths. It's called
Yes.
maximizer. And
Nice.
maximizer is to want to optimize their no matter energy, their skill, or anything they want to pursue. They want to pursue from A to A plus. So good is not okay for them. They pursue excellent, and also
Yep.
resonating to like the thing you said from your childhood. You all always pursue the recognition, maybe from parents. And so with this context and also your strength is also our desire and our motivation combined together, then this environment nourish your maximizer more. And for strengths, of course, it sounds like a good thing, but of course, it should be used in a balanced way, not
Nice,
overused. Overused
nice.
will become a disaster as well. Every
I
talent
like that.
the same. So for maximize, of course, in a good way, it can help us to achieve better, even excellent
I like
performance.
that.
But if we overuse our maximizer, I also have that talent in my six. So if I overuse this talent, it will become a damage because
Nice.
I might put too much pressure on myself to pursue. Maybe I already 98%, but I always want to achieve 100 or more. Actually, some of my coaches, some of them are CEO, they say 100 is not enough. They pursue 120. And I said, oh,
Yes.
your employee who is so suffering because you
Well, that's
never
right.
satisfied with what is good enough. So
I
that
think so.
yes, so as a coach, I always remind everybody that of course talent is to help us, but please do not let the talent blind us as well because it will also block our way if we don't use it correctly. So I think for
No, I
your
love that.
so I think for your example, it's the behavior you just describe is just the typical maximizer person will do.
Oh, that's very interesting. And I liked your description. I mean, I know that I accept that quite often when I'm doing my presentations or my keynote speeches, quite often I accept that the audience loved it. Not, not everybody, but that's life. The audience loved it, great feedback, and I accept that it's good enough for them. But quite often, I do not accept that it was good enough for me. And, I have learned, and I do believe you have to understand yourself because it's, I say to people, who is your fiercest critic? Who is your biggest critic? And most people say, myself. So then I say, and who can relieve you of your stress?
Yourself.
And it's the same. Exactly, exactly. So I say, so everything is in control of you. Not easy, but I don't beat myself up for long because I cannot change what I just did. So if the presentation wasn't good, and I've been very lucky, I'm not saying I'm great, but I can't remember honestly leaving a presentation and it was horrendous. I cannot remember that. So perhaps I'm lucky there. But I remember leaving a lot of presentations saying to myself, I could have been better, or I won't do that again, or I'm going to do that differently. But I don't do that for long because I realize I can't change the past. I can only learn from it. But I also think it's a strength, but I also think it's partly a weakness. I think it's a strength to be critical. But if you're criticizing yourself because you are bad, I think that's different from criticizing yourself because you can be better. I think that it's slightly different in communication. I will criticize myself and turn that into a positive that I will say, I'm not doing that again. Whereas sometimes, maybe in my early days, maybe 1 week later, I'm still upset with myself. That doesn't happen now. It's done, it's gone, but I've learned from it, and that's how I get better, I hope.
Yes, so everybody should manage their strengths and not be overused and not criticize ourselves a lot, because if we already do our best and do all our effort into it, then we just need to accept the results, no matter what it is, so we can just move on. And I think the most important thing is that for example, for the maximize this talent, it's in the influencing domain. So it's also a very if it's put into the leadership way, it's also a very good strength that can help the team to pursue from good to excellent. So it is if a leader has this maximizer talent, maximizer strengths, it can help the team to see what's the difference between good from excellent, and that's the value from this leader can bring to the team. Because if somebody have less talent in their lower part of their strengths, they might not be able to see what's the difference, and that's the blind spot of them. So once you have this talent, you can help the team to pursue what's called excellence, and that makes you different and unique to the world or to the market. So that's very also very valuable. But if you overuse or misuse of this strengths, that the team will be in pain as well, because their boss may never satisfied with the result, even although it's already better. It's good enough. Yeah. So just like the pros and cons and the balance, we also need to be carefully use and manage, even though it's talent, it's strengths.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. You've explained that very, very well. Thank you. I really enjoyed that. You're right. I mean, I often talk about this when I demonstrate what I'm about to say. A lot of people get value from what I'm just going to demonstrate. I talk about internal versus external.
Mm-hmm.
And to define that, my internal is my intent and my thoughts and my desires, but my external is my delivery.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, my internal might mean that I'm very frustrated with a member of my team. I'm like, they've done something that they should have done it better, and I'm frustrated and I want to put my hands around their neck. So my internal has to be different from my external, because if my external delivers the feedback in the way that my internal is feeling, then whoever I'm giving the feedback to will not receive it in the correct way. Mm-hmm. So there are many times I have to make sure that the difference between my internal and my external is separated. My internal, I'm angry with you, but my external, let's discuss this. Let's discuss what happened. Let's talk about why it happened, and let's talk about how we can improve things. Even though my nature is a little bit more impatient and I'm more frustrated, that for me has been my biggest development, that years and years ago, my external delivery was very similar to my internal feeling. And at that stage in my career, some of my team perhaps didn't like me so much. Some of my team were perhaps a little bit more scared of me, which is horrible to think of that, because that's not who I am. But I recognized that was my persona. So I really needed to have my external delivery, which is what you're seeing now, but my internal was my feeling. And that was a very big change for me. So when my external delivered the same as my internal, it wasn't so good. Now my internal's the same, but my external is completely different.
It sounds like the art of communication. And have you ever
believe it is.
Can it be the same on the same level for internal and external?
There can be different scenarios. For example, I was speaking to one of my clients this morning, and I know he's an athlete, not in his business, but he is an athlete with his sports and everything else. And I actually said to her, and he's a really lovely guy. Now, with him, I started explaining internal and external. And I said to him, your problem in sales is your external and your internal are both the same and they're both nice.
Oh.
I said, so when you're going to do a client, well, the problem is that when he goes to do a client proposal, he values being liked. He values, he values being liked. So he leaves the proposal and everyone loves him, but he doesn't get the business because his internal is so nice that there's no determination. So I actually said to him, I said, when you do your sport, what's your attitude? Now, he is a marathon runner.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, do you get tired when you're doing the marathon? And he said, of course. I said, so do you quit or do you carry on? And his face changed. He said, well, I carry on. I said, does it hurt? He said, yes. I said, so do you quit or do you get through the pain? And his face had changed. He said, I get through the pain. So I said, that's your determination. That's your internal. I said, you need to bring this to your sales. You need to go to a prospect and say, internally, I'm going to close the deal today. Internally. So I have a saying called a Bergism. Mm-hmm. If you change your goal, you will change your result. So if your internal is saying, I'm going to meet this prospect today and I'm going to close the deal, that's your internal talking. But your external has to be a nice delivery. But your internal is reminding you, why are you here today? To close the deal. So you can have, if your internal, when I was younger, if your internal is a little bit high demanding, determined, perhaps a little bit aggressive, and your external is the same, people won't buy from you because your external delivery is too aggressive, too focused. So you have to balance the two, but you have to have an internal determination and an external delivery.
Yes, I think it reminds us that the purpose or the goal is the most important thing, just like the lighthouse to guide us. So once you confirm your goal, then that's also execution. So you need to
execution, yeah.
Find out your purpose first and confirm with it. So pursue with it with any method you can do. But
I agree.
Yeah, so the ultimate way is to get that goal. So once you have that goal in your mind, then you will go for it.
My favorite word is the word why. Why are you meeting with this person? What do you want to achieve? And if you can't answer those questions, then how do you achieve the result? So I always say to people, what's your why?
Yes. What's your why? So that's why I want to write a book called Life Strategy Equation, because it's help people to find out their why. Because without why, why we are on Earth, we don't know. So there must be why. That's what I believe. So I desperately helping people to find out their purpose, their mission, their
nice.
passion to come out their why, their mission of life. So
nice.
As author and coaches, we both have spent years helping people grow, and I would love to move beyond careers and explore something more personal. And I want to ask Phil, what do you believe is your mission in life today? What's your mission in life?
I do believe that everyone, I know this isn't necessarily mission, but I do believe that everyone deserves happiness. Everyone.
Me too.
And yeah, I believe that. So I believe they deserve happiness. I do believe a lot of people get stuck in life and don't actually sit back to decide what is happiness for them. And I do believe that a lot of people don't believe they can have it, and therefore life becomes an existence. So one of my Bergisms, and these are well-known quotes. Okay, I actually have a product with over 315 Bergisms quotes. Okay, and one of them, which is interestingly funny when it's heard, one of my Bergisms is "die with a plan." Die with a plan, and without context, people think die with a plan. And then I put a little bit of a description on it, and I say, look, we want to make sure that when life is finished and it's all done, we can hopefully look back and say, well, I did this and I achieved this and I saw this and I went to this country and I did this. Okay. And that for me is what I call a plan. Now, my idea is create your plan, create your bucket list, create your desires. Forget how, just create what do you want to do. Now, if you create your plan and you create your how you achieve it, then if you die, you died with a plan. But here's the clever punchline. If you live with no plan, then it's just an existence. So that's the concept of die with a plan. Hopefully, you'll have a plan. I want to visit this country. I want to have this car. I want to do this every weekend. If you have a plan and you live, then you can enjoy life better. If you don't have a plan and you live, then you're just living, you're just existing. So die with a plan. That's a typical Bergism. So I think my mission is, and I think this connects to my imposter syndrome. I think this connects to my desire to feel worthy. When my life is over, I hope that there will be a few people that will just look up or look down wherever I finish. Okay?
You'll be a star.
I hope, but I hope there'll be just a few people that would just look up or look down and say, "Thank you, Phil." That for me, that would be something quite special.
So your mission of life is to have someone to remember and thank you for what you contribute to them or to bring them.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I truly believe that, we're very, very blessed, and people can talk about their children with tinted glasses. But we are very, very blessed. We have two great children, and they're not children now; they're adults. Our son, amazing, is 35 years old, and our daughter is 30. Both of these people are truly, truly great adults, and I truly believe that if I died today, I truly believe that I will have had a small influence on their life, and that's a legacy. And I for reasons that probably go back through my life, if I've made a difference to a few people, that's good, right? That's good.
Yes, that's good. And the thing you said, that die with a plan, I think that might also be live with a desire, or live with a motivation, because without desire or motivation, we just, like you said, just existence in this world. But what's the meaning or what's the purpose of that? We don't know.
Well, that was the word. Yeah, when you said those two words, I would say, but you have to have a purpose. Please imagine we had all the money in the world, We don't need to work. Okay, fine. But what do you do every day? When you get up every morning, what's your purpose? What do you do? You
Yeah.
know? So I think you've got to have some sort of purpose, interest, and I think then you get motivated to get up in the morning. You know, if you
Yes.
don't, I'm sure for your listeners, this would be a painful sentence for some of them. If you don't get excited to get up in the morning, then at the moment, and I'm not trying to make out that the world is beautiful, but if you're not motivated to get up, then you've got to find something to get up for. No matter what, your passion, whatever you want to do, don't believe you can't do it. Have your plan and you die, or have your plan and you live. That's a good life.
Yes, so that's why find out our strengths, our passion, and our value is so important because this will light us up and help us to get up with excitement instead of
Exactly.
boring. Yes. So speaking about strengths, Phil, what strengths do you have? You think, from your perspective?
Cool. Mine. I think my strengths are opposite to my weaknesses. Um, I wasn't academically clever. Genuinely, I wasn't academically clever. I didn't enjoy school. I didn't concentrate at school. In my younger years, I always believed I would be a professional football player. I was spotted very young, and already I believed I would be a professional footballer. So, because of that, when I didn't succeed, I had the sporting attitude because for me, when you're in sport, you have to have determination. You
Oh.
lose, well, you lose, so you have to learn. You
Mm,
lose, and you have to get back up.
mm,
Okay, you have to face adversity. When you're in a team sport, you have to learn how to. I remember being a young captain of a football team, and I quit being captain because I used to get very frustrated. I used to get very frustrated with my team. Like, I'm doing this and they're not.
mm,
Um, because I was young, I didn't have the experience to understand why they're not.
mm-hmm,
So I think my strengths are the desire. I think I've never said this before. I think it's the ability to be critical of myself, but
that,
critical. There's two sides to this, and I've never ever said this before. I think there's, yeah, I've never said this before. I think there's being critical of myself. I shouldn't be critical of myself, but there's also being critical of myself when I can be better. So I'm not, because I know I can be better, and even now I don't know what that looks like, but because I have a desire to be even better, I think one of my strengths is being open to my weaknesses so that I can learn from them and be better. And I think going back to, I'm sorry, I feel this is a long answer, but I just feel that through adversity, my strengths are my strength. I'm determined. I mean, my son, and this is lovely in a way, but he calls me a machine.
mhm.
I have 8 to 10 hours Zoom every day with different clients.
Wow.
8 to 10 hours. I'm 64 years old.
Yeah.
I
How can you
speak
be so
with,
energetic?
because when I do something, I am all in. I can't do something 50%. That's why I've said to you before, if I'm not good at something, I don't do it because I just don't enjoy it. I can't be my everything. So when I'm talking with you, I love talking with you. So I'm all in. So, if someone had a video in my office, at the end of my day, the video would be exhausted. But that's my strength. I think my strength is my strength. These hands, this heart, and this desire. That I think is my strength, and willing to learn, because if I can do things even better, then I can last longer.
Yeah, with my guess, I highly expect that maximizer is your top strength. Oh, at least top five, because you have that motivation to pursue from good to better to excellent, and you
Yeah.
always and you only play for those you are good at. For those you are not
Yes.
good at, you just forget about it. That's the
Yes.
maximizer will do. So I'm
Yes.
sure you are also a maximizer as well.
Yes. I like that. You've helped me with that today. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's your strength. That's absolutely your strength. And also, the thing you said, your determination, maybe because you you were the athlete before. So with that environment, you learn from failure, and you learn how to play a team player, and you learn how to be determined. So I think those are all the strengths that form what you are right now today.
I
So,
think so.
hmm,
And you take that into business, Sarah. You know, when I look back, and I didn't do these things knowingly. It's now that I look back and I can help people now. When I had my flooring business, you know, for any of our listeners that are in business, we are we are in competition to our competitors. So how can you no, let me change this word. You need to find how to be the best you can be. Because when you have competition, you can't have a goal to be average. You can't. You have to have a goal to be the best you can be, so that you find your right type of client, so you stand out from the crowd, so you're the person they think of. And for me, how can I have a goal that I want my company to be average? It just doesn't. I can't. Yeah, I can't even say it. I want my company to be excellent. We might result average, but I want it to be excellent, because that's what we need to be. How can I have a different goal? How? I can't. It's not in my mind.
Yes, so you know what? Strength is not only for talent, it's also the motivation, also the passion, and also the value. So you set all these standards to your strengths, your passion, and your value. So that's why you want your career or your life to pursue that way. So that's why knowing our strengths is so important, because we know what's important to us. Like for you, I think maybe your top one is maximizer, and for me, my top one is strategic. So what I value most is strategy. So once
Strategy,
if,
yes.
if if that's not on strategy, then I don't think it's worth doing that. So
Do
everyone
you
values
think?
differently.
Yes. And do you think? Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you think? Um, and I don't know this. In my own belief, maybe it's not just one thing. So, for example, I can have desire, okay, and I can be a good person and I can want to achieve. But if I don't have the knowledge or am willing to learn how to achieve, then I'm just going to be a, a busy fool. You know, I've just got desire and I'm running. I think you've got to have the desire. I believe is first. I believe. Because if I want to do something, I will learn how to do it.
Yes, so find out their passion is also very important, because we do not only do what we're good at, we also want to do what we're passionate about. So good what you're good at doesn't equals to what you love to do that. It's different
I
things.
think I
For
agree.
example, you are good at sports, but maybe you are not into it. So you will not be a passionate sport
That's so
person,
true.
athlete. So we need to
That's very true.
combine those three elements together. What you're good at, what you're passionate about, what you love to do, and you want to burn the midnight oil without getting tired. That's your passion. And also combine with your talent and your passion. What can you bring to others, the value, or what problems can you solve? With these three interactions combined together, then that's your mission of life. That's your purpose of life. Because you can do what you're good at, you love, and also bring values to others. That is the happiness and success to life for my definition. I think you already achieved
I think
happiness,
we're similar. I think we're
success.
very, very similar. Yeah, yeah. And even then, if we wanted to go deep, we could even say, well, why are we like this? Why are we like this? I think it does normally go back to our childhood. Something happened and we want to prove ourselves or whatever, I don't know. But it usually goes back in our history, you know. But I'm okay with that. I'm a great believer of desire and attitude, and then you learn. You want to, my golf, for example. I'm really struggling, Sarah, and I mean really, really struggling. I look like a beginner, and
Mm-hmm.
people could say, "Oh, Phil, you're being hard on yourself." I
Mm.
really, really do look like a beginner. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a lesson every week at the moment for
Mm-hmm.
like 10 weeks, and the lesson is good. And then I go onto the golf course and the golf is bad. And I'm kind of so near to saying, give up, Phil, give up. I'm so near to saying, I'm not enjoying this. But I'm also so near to saying, come on, persevere. You've been a good golfer. You can do it again. Come on. So I can feel my attitude is, I'm not going to quit yet. But it, my desire is keeping me trying, not my skill.
But may I ask you a question?
Please.
Why do you want to play golf? What's your motivation?
Because because I know that when I played well, I really, really enjoyed it. Like really. For me, and it's different things, but when you hit a great golf shot, you think, wow, I really enjoyed that. Also, for me, golf is one of those sports that you can leave the office and for 4 or 5 hours, you're walking around a nice golf course, you're looking around saying, hey, you know what? Life is pretty good, isn't it? It has a few different things. When you play golf on a nice golf course, it can be very satisfying. If you're not playing well, it can be 4 hours of challenge. And that's kind of where I am. But yet my determination is still, come on. So,
So,
yeah,
so if you don't play with good score, then you don't think it's fun, right?
no, because I don't. And funny enough for me, it's not about the score. If you change this to business, sometimes for me, it's the results are purely the results. The score is the result of the performance.
Mm-hmm.
The score is the result of the performance.
Yes.
So I've got friends that even if our listeners are not golfers, I've got friends that could hit the ball along the floor because the ball is supposed to go up in the air. Okay. I've got friends that would hit the ball along the floor
Uh-huh.
and the ball goes in the hole. And they would go, yay. If I hit the ball along the floor and it goes in the hole, my face would be like, oh,
Frustrated.
yeah, because I want the ball up in the air.
So have you ever enjoyed playing golf? No
Yes,
matter
I have.
describe scenario, the enjoyment moments you had before.
It's a feeling, and you can relate this to business. It's a feeling of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It's driving to golf. The difference between then and now,
Mm-hmm.
when I used to drive to golf, I would be really excited. I would be looking forward to playing with these people. I
Mm-hmm.
would be looking forward to scoring well, hitting the ball nicely. Now I'm driving to golf and I've lost my confidence. I'm a bit nervous of how will I play today and will I embarrass myself? And, that can be self-fulfilling because when you play sport or in business, you have to picture the result.
Yes.
But when you lose your confidence,
Uh-huh.
you stand there and you hope that you can hit the ball forward. But
Uh-huh.
when you're confident, you just do it. And that feeling of natural and beauty and you get the result, I think that's the same in business. If you're confident and you know what you're doing, the results are very satisfying. But if you don't know what you're doing, excuse me, it's a little bit hazy, unclear.
Yes. So, uh, who do you compare, others or yourself?
No, I don't. I only compare myself to myself.
Yes, and so, but before, when you mentioned about your previous golf period, you still compare yourself or not at that moment?
Yeah, yeah. If I know I could be better, then I
Mm-hmm.
just compare myself to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play a lot of squash.
Mm-hmm.
I loved squash. Okay, squash.
No.
Squash is on. It's like how to explain squash. It's very difficult, but it's difficult to explain. You're on a court. You have a squash ball, and
Uh-huh.
you're playing against the walls.
Okay.
Okay, so it's called squash.
Mm-hmm.
And I played, and that's an individual sport.
Mm.
Okay, so I would play against another opponent,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a good squash player.
Mm-hmm.
But I played sometimes in some fantastic games,
Mm-hmm.
and the other player was better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I can lose, but if I've lost and I've played well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm absolutely okay with that.
Oh.
I'm because
Because you
it's
you
not about.
compare yourself.
I played brilliantly. I
Good.
played brilliantly, but
Good.
this guy was better.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I kind of think, wow, like, okay, what did he do? What did he do? So that allowed me to think, right, what did he do? Why was he better? So I like that. But if I played badly and won, I would probably be criticizing myself because I just didn't play well.
So maybe you put too much focus on the score or the result. So
Not
no.
the result. No, not the result. The action, and the activity. If I play well and I lose, I have no problem.
Yes, yes, I
No
know.
problem.
Yes, I know. But I mean, for the golf right now, maybe you put too much focus on you need to play well. You need to
Yes.
get good scores. So that's
No.
pressure. Uh,
If
will
I play well,
underblock you.
I'll, no. If I play well, which I believe is the difference between action and result.
Mm-hmm.
If I play well, the result will be good.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, before playing, you already put a lot of pressure on your goal that I need to play well. And that pressure, that purpose, block your
Yes.
strength to put it out.
Yes.
So
Yes.
maybe you just let
Yes.
it go, let it go.
I know. I know. I've tried. I mean, I don't need a golf professional. I need a doctor. You're absolutely right. I've tried. I've My problem is between the ears, and I think that might be the same in business. Okay, but I've tried. A golf swing is very unnatural, so I've stood there and thought, just relax, Phil. Just relax. Just hit the ball. And then when I do that, it goes badly. So then the next shot, I think, okay, don't relax, concentrate. So yeah, it's honestly, yeah, I don't want this to be all about golf, but the psychology, I believe. But I think what we're comparing these stories to is my determination. I am not a good golfer. at the moment. I am hitting bad shots at the moment. I am not scoring well. I'm not really enjoying it. But I'm determined, and I've booked a golf lesson every week for 10 weeks. So it's painful. I'm struggling, but my determination is coming to the top. I'm determined to get this right. And when I go on the golf course, honestly, Sarah, I'm embarrassed. But instead of quitting, I'm still determined, but it's tough. So you asked what my strengths were. If I want to do something, I will stay. I will get it right.
Yeah, but plus enjoyment. Enjoy the process no matter what. Then maybe you will have a good result. Probably. Enjoy the
Maybe,
process no
maybe,
matter what.
yeah, maybe, maybe, maybe.
Yeah, and I would also like to ask you one question that is a author to author question because both of us are authors, and rather ending with one final question, I would love to finish our two-part series with something more personal. I love for us to briefly switch roles. So maybe you can be the host right now to ask me questions. So I'm delighted if you could ask me one question about the life strategy equation and something you may be curious about or want to ask for me, and I'll be happy to answer that.
Okay. Well, perhaps put on the spot. I mean, if I use what I'm thinking, now, I actually have two books. Okay. You may or may not know. So I
Oh,
have Thrive.
life. Oh,
Okay.
good. Mm,
This was my first book.
mm.
Okay.
Let
Which is
me take a
Thrive.
photo of that.
That is my first book. Thrive is based on three particular topics:
Mm,
relationships,
mm-hmm,
sales,
mm.
and communication.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Those three topics specifically in my Thrive. Okay. And the question I would ask you is probably the same question as people ask me. Why did you write these books? And for me, I wanted to write the books because I had this knowledge and I didn't want it to be wasted. And even if nobody buys the books, it would fulfill my desire to, to not lose the content. So both of my books are available on Amazon. And I think that connects to, if you like, my legacy. There will be people that have got the books that will never meet me, never know me, but my book made a difference to somebody. So may I ask you, why did you specifically write your book? And how are you intending to maximize the results because you wrote your book?
Yeah, good question. Why do I write this book? Um, Actually, I became a strength coach since 2019. So after that, I coach people, no matter leaders, CEOs, or workers, or any type of person I coach. And of course, they come to me to have some career or life struggles. They they couldn't find out their next move, or they are stuck, but they don't know why. So that's why they want to try to use strengths to find out the reason behind. As I'm a strength coach, of course, I can help them to find out their strengths after they do the assessment. I can uh, coach them to resonate those strengths with their experience, behaviors, and to find out the linkage. But after a lot of coaching experience, I find out that helping people to find out their strengths is not enough because just as I told you, strengths or talent is something that we good at. But do we love that? That's not the same thing. Maybe you love what you're good at, but maybe not. But I don't know from your country, but in Asian or especially in Taiwan, uh, we all select lots of people. Most of the people select their major by scoring instead of what they are interested in. So I think that's the most serious issue, the root of the issue, because people don't
Right. Yes.
pursue what they like.
Yes.
They pursue
Yes.
what others think that will contribute to a good career. So, in a very high percentage, they don't do what they like. They just do what they
I
can
agree.
do, what they are good at. So that's the reason contribute to what they don't like their work right now because the work is not their passion. They never think about their passion. Um, from when we were students, we never taught to pursue our passion. So no wonder everybody don't know their passion. Once you ask a people what's your passion, they don't know the answer. So it's very common here. So that's why I after those coaching sessions, I find out that helping people to find out strengths is not enough. I also need to help them to find out their passion as well, and also the value they bring. Because if we want someone to pay us, no matter you are a worker or you are self-employed, you need to earn money to survive. So why people pay
Absolutely.
you? So you need to bring some value or solve their problems. That's why they
Yes.
will pay you. So what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and what you can contribute to others will bring you the ultimate fire for you to go for it. So I think that's the ultimate solution for happiness or for success. So that's why
Nice.
once I find out this equation, I am so passionate about spreading it to others because I do a lecture or a session for like 1,000 women leadership in a course, and I ask them to write this homework to write their talent, no matter which what way. No, you don't need to do the assessment. You can use other ways to find out your talent. That's also good, and find out your passion, find out your value, and please find out those intersections and tell me what's your mission of life. And they also can uh uh, uh done this homework. So that's, I think, oh, this equation works. Everybody can use this simple equation to find out their purpose of life. That is no longer a very hard or far away question for us.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's quite simple once we really dig into it, and we will find out the equation of ourselves. So that's why that's my passion about writing it into a book to spread my uh, thought and my intellectual property to the world. So uh,
I love
for
that. I think
for
that's
your
lovely.
yeah, so for your second question is that of course I want more and more people to know this equation because they will no longer suffer uh, from they don't know where they can go. Just as you said everybody can be happy, and I believe so. So, what's your happiness? You need to know what you can do to bring you happiness. Your talent, your passion, your value can all bring you to a happiness way. So,
I
find out it.
love your passion. I love your passion. You're just, and I'm saying this because in a nice way, you're hard to interrupt because you're so passionate, which is beautiful. I didn't say everybody can be happy. I actually said everybody deserves to be happy.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Now, then I believe if they start believing that, then they might search for what does that mean. And I, unfortunately, and I'm a realist, I do believe everyone can be happy. But I do believe that a lot of people may have had something tragic happen in their life. And when I say they choose not to be happy, I don't mean that. There might be people listening to us now thinking, oh, you haven't had the tragedy happen, which I might have. But whether we like it or we don't, we still have a choice of reaction. And I'm not saying it's easy. I absolutely understand that. But really, if you've had a tragedy happen in your life, does that have to make the rest of your life be tragic? It's not easy, but it is a choice. So, I'm even going to say to you with your answer, which was beautiful, I didn't ask you one question, which is why is all of that you said, why is that important to you? And I'm not asking you to answer that because you may not have investigated that. You may not have asked yourself that question, but everything you did there was beautiful. But if I said, and why is all this important to you? It will again go back to your childhood or something in your life. Because there has to be a reason why this is important to you.
Yes, I can answer that. You know what's the why? Because the answer is in my strengths, my strategic top one strengths. Because for strategic, we don't want to waste time. We want everything in a very efficient way. So once I find out that there is an equation that can help people to solve their mission of life problem, I just want to tell everybody, you don't need to waste your time to find out, to dig, to search. There's an equation that you can apply
I
immediately.
love that. Sara,
So,
I love that. But
yeah.
that's not your why. That's not your why. I still haven't heard your why. Because what I've heard is your desire. Your
Mm-hmm.
desire. I love the fact that you've got this passion to change people's lives. And I believe you. And I could see it in your eyes. And that's why AI can't do this call. That I feel it from you. But that's not your why.
My why is I believe everyone deserves a meaningful and impactful life.
Why? Why do you believe that? Why is that important to you? Why is that important to you? So what? Who cares? Why is that important to Sara? Why?
Because I believe everyone has value and everyone can live the life they want, no matter what circumstances, because all they need is within them instead of pursuing outside. All of our treasures are on ourselves. That's
Well, let me
what I
just say
believe.
this to you for time.
Okay.
I believe the same as you believe. But why are we doing this? Because someone else can help them. That's not your why. Now, don't answer it now because it's a challenging question. It's not your why. Because what you told me was, I believe this. And I'm saying to you, I believe the same thing. But somebody else could help them. Why is Sara helping them? Why is it important to you? Why are you doing this? And that's not something you should answer now. But if you start challenging yourself, imagine Phil Berg saying to you, okay, Sara, but why is that important? When I can't use the word why anymore, then you'll find your why. At the moment, that's not your why. That's your goal. It's not your why.
Good. I will pursue it.
Interesting.
Yeah, find out the question. And once I find out, I will tell you.
Lovely. But thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I've absolutely loved our two podcasts so far. I've just loved chatting with you. I think you're very special. Thank you for having me here. And I hope anything I've shared is useful for yourself and whoever is listening.
Yes, of course. I'm very happy to talk with Phil for the 2 episodes. So these 2 conversations, we have explored the leadership from 2 complementary perspective. One is the power of relationship, and one is the power of maybe self-awareness. So perhaps the two are inseparable because the relationship we build often reflect the person we choose to become. So thank you again for being part of our 2 special part conversation. And I hope that our audience won't simply just learn how to build stronger network or become better leaders. Instead, I hope they can be inspired to become the kind of people who they naturally create trust and create meaningful relationship and lasting impact. So thank you, Phil. Actually looking forward to our conversation in the future. So with that, let's say goodbye to our audience.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here. And if anybody wants to reach out and have some help from me, it will be an absolute pleasure to have a conversation with you. But thank you, Sara.
Great. I will put Phil's contact in our info so everybody can contact with Phil if you want. Thank you very much for Phil to attend my first international interview. Thank you.
Fantastic. You've been brilliant. Thank you, Sara.
Thank you.
You're brilliant. That was really good.
如果你正在带一个领导团队，或者你正在推动组织转型，我想邀请你思考一个问题：你的团队是否真正理解彼此的天赋结构与决策模式？很多组织的摩擦并不是策略错误，而是天赋错位。如果你希望让决策更清晰，让责任更明确，让团队真正形成互补，欢迎与我联系。领导升级，组织才会升级。